I saw a clip on Reddit that I haven't watched yet. Let's see. Nemesis on the state of ADC. Let's see here. So my chat doesn't know
Baus in
about
the current state of ADCs. I wanna check that.
Like champion buffs needs to just be the listen, you're not gonna like what I have to say. You're not gonna like it, but I'm just being genuine because I don't know what happened. Marksman's
Yeah.
This is such a
ADC
clipception.
role
Yeah.
is so piss. It's been the weakest role for the last half year minimum.
100% correct.
I don't know why people don't mention it. They're so bad.
I've been saying it.
ADCs gets one shot by every single role, and
Yep.
then they get to late game where they're supposed to carry, but then others. The ADC is so bad, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if all the if all the Reddit people stopped complaining, but if they should complain anytime, it should be now because the role is actually shit.
Okay, so there's a couple of things here. Every time ADC mains complain, Freak goes on YouTube every single time and he says ADC is fine. Like
Yep.
last time, I watched a rundown on Freak. I don't know, 2, 3, 4 videos ago. I don't know exactly which one it was. And he legit said, oh, ADC is good. And he said something like, oh, I gave you a broken BT and overheal and you guys didn't buy it. That was his reasoning. Oh, you can, if you want defensive items, buy shield bow. That is literally what he was saying on the video. I think it's just so dumb. I agree with him. Obviously, it's really hard to make every role be balanced. ADC, this is something I've been saying for a long, long time. ADC used to be very, very OP. But what Riot did was they kept buffing support and nerfing ADC. And now we basically, support is the new ADC. There's no reason for you as an ADC player in solo queue to play ever ADC when you can queue up support, play Senna support, and just be basically an ADC but better.
Yep.
And then on top of that, the ADC problem is not as oppressive, maybe in high elo.
Let's go look at LCS from yesterday. LCS week 5, day 1. 1, 2. All right, here. Let's just do highlights all games. Game 1. Senna, Nautilus, bot lane. Actually, typically, Senna's a support for the most part. I don't know why they did farming Senna. Anyways, Senna just smashed the game open. I mean, bot lane was like... Ballin was like some fucked up like 50 CS lead early game or whatever. All right, let's look at game 2. This is the same shit. Basically, they pick Senna support. They're just like confounding the roles, and Senna wins a game. Okay, blah blah blah. Okay, game 3, same thing. Senna wins. Game 4 of yesterday. Senna Tom Kent. Senna wins. It's not even really close. Okay, so. That's pretty lame. So I don't think the problem is with the champs, right? Because you could say like Senna's pretty strong. I would say like Vayne top, pretty fucking strong. Can't really argue with that. TF ADC, pretty fucking strong. Can't argue with that. You know, have you guys played against TF ADC? That shit is, it's not fun to play against. He's pretty broken. It's the role. The role is dog shit. I don't know how they're gonna fix that though. So, you know, I'm not a genius. I'm not a game designer. I have some ideas, but I don't really know. No one really knows. Don't think Freak really knows. Don't think the right balance team really knows. But the role is dog shit.
There's still a lot of team play, and you know,
Tristana mid. Can't
ADCs
say that that's
get
bad.
a bit more love and a bit more help from their teammates. But the lower you go, and I mean master and below, ADC is a horrible role to play. It's a horrific role to play. There's a reason why most ADC players just lock in Seraphine, scale to 2 items and win the game. Because that's like, unironic is so much easier and more impactful than playing a normal ADC. On top of that, like, ADC this season has been horrible. Riot has failed to balance lethality and crit items completely. So like every ADC is just buying lethality items left and right, like for the majority of the season. Mm-hmm. They nerfed proc damage on ADC items, right? Like Stormmazer and blah blah blah. They made Kraken Slayer Scale Wars and stuff like that. These are all ADC nerfs, Imo. You know what's the saddest part? I think ADC as a role lost identity. Because ADC to me, many years ago, it was very simple. It was a shit role early game, kinda, or like whatever early game, but the best scaling role in the game. And that to me, if I were to balance the game, that would be ADC for me. Best late game role in the game. It is right now, at least in my experience, it's the opposite. It's a good early game role and falls off mid to late game. That's how I feel about ADC.
Huh? No. No.
And to me, I mean, I agree with Boss' point here. It's like, how are people not crying
I
about
was
ADC
following
more?
until that.
Like, I remember when ADC was fucking overpowered, people were making Reddit threads every single day. Oh, ADC is so weak, ADC is so weak. And I thought ADC was really fucking broken back then. Now I feel like ADC is actually shit. And people are not saying anything. And by the way, just before I end my speech here, let's understand something, okay? If Riot were to buff ADC right now, botlane will be turbo OP. It already is OP, but botlane will be turbo OP.
Because support is OP.
Support is too strong. You can't just outright buff ADC. This is
yeah.
gonna make botlane. Like, we had so many metas in high elo and pro play where the whole game is about botlane. The whole fucking game. So
Yeah, I agree. I don't want to get back to that.
To buff ADCs, we have to also nerf supports.
Guys, like, just think about what happened yesterday. Think about what happened yesterday. This is not like a new strategy. Like, every region is doing this. Support is so OP that it's better to just lock in Senna and not farm a single creep and have your ADC role. Technically, the ADC role in these games is being taken by Nautilus and Tom Kench, technically. It's better for the attack damage, consistent long-range carry, the late-game carry of the team, to not farm any creeps and to abuse like Bloodsong and how much like passive income the support items give than it is for that guy to be full farming. In fact, if you take a look at when the support gets like their item, let's take a look here. Toma went TP. He has 1 kill. Essence Reaver, 12 minutes. Actually, sorry, he has it at like, what does he have? He has it at like 11. Pretty fast, honestly. Good job. In competitive, 11 minutes on your first item. That's pretty good. Okay. So when does FBI? I can't tell with this highlight, honestly. I'm gonna assume, or sorry, Meech, I should say. Meech, I'm gonna assume he gets it around like 14, 15 minutes. So the difference between like the guy who's farming, struggling for his life to get like every little bit of farm, and the guy who's not farming whatsoever, it's like a few minutes on their first item. It does increase over time, but like then you like factor in like how much stats the support item gets when you finish it and it turns into like this ridiculous item. That's like 400 gold for a full completed item. Yeah, it's wild. Why is Faker stealing food from your fridge? What does that even mean, bro? What does that mean? Yeah. Support is broken. TLDR, support is way too... They've like really handheld support so much. And by the way, guys, like no one wants support to be the dog shit role no one wants to play. Poverty-stricken role that no one wants to play. But like, let's like try to make support back into the supportive and facilitating role that it should be. Like, I don't think the norm should be Heimerdinger, Ashe, Ezreal support, Keria going Doran's Blade start. All these things that are like game breaking is like a symptom of like a bigger problem, which is like, why is support doing more damage than the damage rolls without farming a single minion? And that being like the no, it's just silly. Like, I like when support is impactful role for like engaging, peeling, setting up plays, play Bard, you know, play Nautilus, play fucking Thresh. That's sick. I love that. That's like making plays. That to me, that's like the role fantasy. I don't think the role fantasy of support is to lock in brand support and outdamage your ADC for 99% of the game. Classic Lux E half healthing with Lost Chapter. I mean, like, bro, it's just too much. Playing against Buzio and he's playing Brandon Hui support in bot lane, and his ADC is legit not doing shit. doing nothing, like just sitting back farming creeps, and the support is just like 1v2ing the lane. This is silly. Why does the game have to be solved as having a support in bot lane? Why not change everything and have 2 mid laners and solo lanes be bot and top? That's so trash, bro. Well, first off, top and mid, the plates are like tankier. The tower is tankier, if I'm not mistaken. I think bot lane's squishier. And secondly, mid is a short lane, so having 2 people there is just going to not work. Crazy Cook. There's definitely a very, very good reason as to why everyone goes where. Why not have 2 junglers? Yeah. The answer of Riot has engineered the game to be this way is a cop-out. Well, you're going to play in the most efficient way as a pro player, and the pro players are going to try to find the optimal strategy and the most effective strategy to win the game. And if you go into a scrim, if you go into a real match and Faker is 1v2, right? Faker is 1v2 mid playing a mage. He is going to farm comfortably while your 1v2 bot lane is going to struggle extremely hard. So the mismatch is not going to benefit the team that doesn't send 2 bot lane. Do you think we'll see instances of solo mages laning bot? No. I'll tell you why. Bot lane is infinitely harder, bot lane is infinitely easier to dive. So the guy who's getting a wave stacked, oh my god, let me pull up the Rift. That way I can show it a little bit easier than just talk like waffling, you know? I'll show you why. So mid, right? How can you dive mid lane? Well, I'm gonna do a little. Let's just say you're 1v2 mid lane. Well, the enemy team goes here and dives you. The enemy team goes here and dives you. But your team, right? Let's just say that's what the enemy team has to do. If you're blue side mid, your team has a pretty good track, right? So your jungler could be farming wolves and be right there. Your jungler could be farming raptors and be right there. So in a way, you are diveable from multiple angles mid, but at the same time, you're also way safer mid. There's also a turret right here, right? There's a turret right. I can't. Where's the button to like undo shit in this? I fucking get cancer, bro. Anyways, I'm just gonna say, there's a turret right here and there's a turret right here, as opposed to this dead zone right here where there is no turret. Dead zone right here where there's no turret. So sidelines are way easier to dive. And if you're playing a mage bot, for example, you're trying to play some sort of 1v2 situation, the enemy bot lane has the ability to stack the wave from here all the way until your turret. And then when that wave crashes, if your jungler is doing wolves, if your jungler is doing Gromp, if your jungler is doing raptors, if your jungler is not on Krugs at that exact moment, you're dove. You're dove. You're fucking dead. As opposed to mid, your jungler could be on blue, your jungler could be on wolves, could be on raptors, could be on red. All of these things could be on crab. All of these things could facilitate them to cover a dive. So basically the TLDR is because of the way that like the mechanics of like mid lane being the shortest lane, and typically the hardest one to dive early game, there would be no reason for you to send the squishy guy, the squishy diveable guy to side lane to catch the wave safely. That's not going to happen. He will not catch the wave safely. He will just die on his turret. There's also another thing about like in general that's like been true about League, but I'm not sure it's actually true anymore, which is that midwave crashes first, which makes an artificial experience advantage happen in that lane. I'm not sure if that's actually true anymore. I don't think it is true, right? I think all waves crash at the same time. They changed it. So that used to be the case, not anymore. That advantage is gone. So yeah, I mean, there have been examples, for example, let's see, 100T versus energy. There's some examples of lane swaps. God damn it. Spring? I think it's spring. No, 2023 spring I'm trying to find. Damn it, I can't find it, but yeah, sorry guys, I can't find it. We did a lane swap with Scion against a bunch of people. So like when Scion's lane swap strategy was a thing, like that was possible obviously when you're playing like a scaling pick, but it was like very specific and counterable. The org wasn't, was it CLG? Oh, it was CLG. You're right. They didn't turn energy yet. So it would be like right here, maybe. This is this. No, this is not it either. Damn it. Man, I don't know. I can't find it, honestly. Is it this one? Is it the tiebreaker? It is the tiebreaker, I think. Is it? No, it's not. Sorry, guys. I don't know. I'm being stupid. I'm playing and mid just crashed first. It only crashes first by a slight amount, though. It's not as noticeable as before.
Sometimes